there, but we might as well to actually go directly towards the match here. We have our own say as well, Psycho, and you know what? Everybody will have been hemming and hawing. I would have said Secret before even a ball was started. I like a bit of madness, but this is Sam, mind you.
Well, it seems already, Danny, that the madness has already begun, because not only have you thrown out a completely bizarre, perhaps, prediction out of the window, there's also been, well, 20 seconds of play and Team Secret have already got a goal to their name. And just to add to your point a little bit as well, Danny, I do think the club's run of form recently has been a little bit shaky. And so for this particular game, well, it's anyone's, really.
The fact that we were somewhat alluding to, and the fact that those two gentlemen on the pre-show was more in the fact that Relic was talking about that Swiss stage and Bacon alluding to the fact that they're getting serious towards the point in. Yes, they had the benefit of reaching the major itself without really touching a ball at this point in time. Secret, on the other hand, still has this need, the want, the desire. Well, let's see how much of an effect this one will play so far as Lost, trying to chase that ball. Unfortunately, a lost cause there.
Yeah, and KV1's going to strike downfield as well and try and get counter-attack going, but it lands comfortably in the hands of Club, as Sad is going to try and do something about this particular play. KV1 downfield, Sad already on the backboard, drops it down, and just about saved by Astromic there.
For decent save, follow through, needs a nice connection here, and I love the fact that Bacon was sitting there talking about the players that he loved, the players at the mechanical side. It always seems to be funny that it's on the top end of the spectrum as well in the form of the club. But is a little bit slightly nervous at that end of it, Psycho, is that he also casts his A-pack with James Cheese on it, so of course he's used to the top end of the tree.
Absolutely so, and the club, certainly that, given their run of form very recently across this particular RLCS season. They have been unstoppable, and only recently have they shown any hints of slowing down, and that is right here in the fall Invitational. And Team Secret, as you said, Danny, hungry to get this win, but so far this game has been a very even affair so far, and maybe one opportunity has been the difference maker with the scoreline right now.
Just shows you how tight, how poised, how nicely everything is so far here, but it is one mistake effectively that separates as that ball gets touched to the side. There's KV1 just, mind you, just what everybody does in sort of like the rank games, just send the ball, keep touching it, keep forcing the 50, nothing extravagant, just playing safe. And that's a word that we don't normally associate with the Sam playstyle. It's aggression at all times, and when the defence is on point and two, it makes it extremely difficult, and that's what these two teams do have. And we do have a secondary goal through the Secret colours.
And it's beautiful work as well from Knight, who's just about spotted that top left-hand corner as well, in a delicate way to put a second goal on the board. And I know the desk earlier was saying, what happens if the club doesn't get that first game on the board? And with 2 minutes left, that might be an outcome that we can see happening, Danny.
Potentially. Out of interest for more our viewers' sake, Cycle, which way would you have went? The club or Secret?
Oh, my gut instinctively tells me that the club is the team to look out for in this matchup. As well, I was almost proven right there by a shot that came through. But yeah, the club, the only time that they have faltered, the only time that they have looked weak throughout this entire, well, RLCS Fall Invitational has been in that Swiss stage, and they lost a very crucial matchup, which is very much on your screens right now.
Right now I'm trying to put Psycho in a bit of hot water here, and you know how both sets of fans here is very much exuberant to both sets, of course, is Sad. Trying to make sure that there's no misalignment here as KV1 sits there, Knight sitting back and Laws. Oh dear, but what a fabulous save here on the counter, breathing down the other end.
And Lost taking this one to the backboard, couldn't quite find space for a teammate to fill in after Knight with a double flip reset, trying to work something past that final defender in Bems as a shot is dropped on down. Nostromic, some space down this left-hand wing, is just going to let Lost take this one over and lunge for a demo himself quite smartly. An infield pass opportunity turned into a bump opportunity. I think we can see the real nature of the club's playstyle coming through right now, but that is all of an irrelevancy if Team Secret have an opening bit of space like that.
I love how that angle was looking like a billiards pocket. Just watch there, and if you're a good fan like myself with a particular John Virgo, where's that cue ball going? Well, that was the moment that the club knew there was a potential mistake. 3-0 in the opening game. Big worrying signs were meant to be the top team in Sam, and the pain multiplies.
And the sadness grows as that specific player is going to poke this one in the back of the net. Bems struggling on the back lines, and 29 seconds left. This game is done. It is dusted, but I'm so impressed with the manner in which Team Secret have really taken this game by the scruff of its neck and really, been the driving force in this game one.
It's a big match, this, and we're talking about that driving force here, and we sat in the MENA room earlier in this weekend. We thought, well, what is a set of potential tiebreakers, scenarios could be out playing, and the fact that Secret has the chance not only to make a statement in a half here, if they beat the club here, you just fancy they are the favourites outright to win it. But, Psycho, they've lost to the club before. I know you mentioned they've won it, but let's not forget it, this is effectively 1-1, if we want to put it politely, in the regional standings of 4. This is the final dance they get, sorry, the dance, as they both want to, of course, reach the major in Rotterdam. One already has. It would be nice to see another team make it there.
Absolutely so, and Team Secret are very close to sort of booking that slot forwards to the major, and I know on the desk they touched on the scenarios, the outcomes, the potential for that second spot to be filled through to the major. Team Secret definitely looking to book that spot, but it's a difficult affair for them. There's so many outcomes. This is almost a must win for them because they have no idea what the other circumstances are going to be in the opposing semi-final. So for the sake of their longevity in this competition, this might not be a must-win series, but for them and really increasing their odds, it certainly is.
The fact that we're sitting there and sort of going, well, there is a possibility, but there's quite not. Fate is still in their hands. That is the main thing everybody's got to take away with it. And the fact that both of them has came out, played reasonably strong, and they haven't let themselves down yet, Psycho. The problem is, you've just beat the club in the first game. They might take a bit of umbrage to that.
Absolutely so, and I fully would not be surprised if the Wolves in the club are going to come hunting back to Team Secret and take revenge after what has been a game one completely out of their hands. It seems an early shot from Bems as well. We barely saw a single opportunity from the club in the previous match, and 3 seconds into this game, that shot has stuck true.
Well, earlier in this Swiss stage, just for a bit of contextual sort of formulation to how this scenario and entirety of the bracket out. You talk about Bems, he was set absolutely quietly, not a goal to his name in this very matchup earlier in this very week. Well, he's just got one here. That was a warning sign for Team Secret. Do not let your guard down once more.
Don't let your foot off the gas. Has lost with a shot testing that top left-hand corner, and a wonderful save it was as well from Sad. And Team Secret is going to be happy to see this one out. Very highly extended back defense from Team Secret is going to allow Club to come back coming. Has lost over to the backboard. Knight's going to be bumped away from his troubles, but still very much a ping-pong affair at the moment.
But again, we didn't necessarily expect anything else other than this sort of aggressive style. A lot of space being given here in Psycho, what is being such a critical part of this game as well. There's a lot of space here, a lot of time for a decision to be made, and a lot of time to execute on it. It's just who is able to do it better, which that is going to be somehow what separates these two teams.
Yeah, and potentially some of that volatility, some of that creativity might be what takes one team into an advantageous position in this series, as well, a best of 7 is certainly a long distance to travel. Sad gets a 50 in the midfield, lost now. He's going to try and chip this one over to the corner. A shooting opportunity presenting itself as well, but just wide of the margin.
Big chances on the doorsteps here, and a follow through is much needed here for the Secret downfield. They've went consistently so, but it's been repelled back now, shimmening forward here, and look at that ball, just edging even closer to the midline. KV1 bumped away, but where's the follow through? It's unfortunately been sent away far too convincingly, and now it's a dirty scramble all the way for your defensive line.
Bems to the backboard has been immediately punished by the backboard lurking defence there, as lost off the ceiling. Has a flip to spare, but he's going to take his time and strike, almost beating two defenders. They've actually gone and beaten themselves, Danny.
I think it was Relic on this week's broadcast about the bullies with the phrase, stop hitting yourself, stop hitting yourself. I feel like this is one of those moments again.
Maybe so, and a very unusual manner for the club to really stretch their advantage in Game 2, but I think more optimistically, and I think I'm going to have to hold that thought actually. Team Secret very much out of nowhere, poking in an infield pass. Bems caught out of position, out of shape on that defensive line, and Sad doing well to punish him there.
Just shows you, when you have that half a chance opportunity, it was a must take here, and another follow through and Sad. Well, demo off to it. It should be a tempting infield pass, but soft 50 right down to the middle of the heart here of the pitch here, half time. We're sensing the Team Secret wants to get out of their own defence, and that's one way to leave it.
Apparently it's inescapable, because Sad, he's done well to push that, well, to the corner in the first place, but the follow-up touch was immediately met by Lost. He pounced so quickly on that 50-50 and certainly, well, reaps the benefits of his efforts there.
Such a strange turn of the events here, that the opening game we've seen the Secrets here almost strong, almost dominant as well too. This unfortunately might be a slight, how can we describe it, sort of a dynamic, a Swiss change of part here, that the club has just etched another gear and just trying to show the revs is still there, beating Heart and Team Secret. There is that question, can they match the club? Well, Psycho, have they matched the club so far? Because the opening game would have suggest they were maybe a touch better, not in Game 2.
Yeah, and it's such an interesting affair at the moment because, well, like you said, they showed really not too much hope in Game 1, the club did, and moving forward to this game number 2, there's already been some learnings and some, well executed plays on their half that we really didn't see in that first game, and it's giving me a lot more hope for their potential and their promises in this competition at large, as Sad once again trying to come out of the corner, immediately intercepted, and what a 50-50 that was.
You just have to tip your hat off sometimes and go, yep, that was a good play, I got beaten, there's nothing I can do. And the club here is just showing what everybody else in the SAM region thought this is meant to be the top dog. There was maybe a murk, there was a misty fog somewhat, and everybody's opinions was slightly blurred. Maybe they have readjusted the lens of everybody else here. This series shall be going 1-1 unless the Team Secret would like to put 3 goals without a response. Highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely indeed, and Bems, a lot of control in the corner. Catches a flip reset and tries to beat out that one defender. There's a Stromic now. Up to the ceiling, is just going to let this one go, as Lost is going to fill in, try and trouble KV1 in that back corner, as lunging already downfield is Sad. A strong 50-50 from the club. And I didn't think we were going to have an extension on the previous game's scoreline, Danny, but here we are.
Kind of reminded me of our rank session segment, or specifically mine. Can't do anything about it, you're suddenly 5 goals down.
And that's honestly very accurate. That's what it's felt like for Team Secret so far. But I can't help but feel so far in this series, Danny, that things haven't been going swimmingly for either of these two rosters so far. They sort of lack the comfortability at the moment. Still in the, well, maybe some teething issues from both of these rosters at the moment. I'm sure when we see that full flow and that full defensive, really, nature of these two teams, when they are forced at the back, maybe we'll be seeing some closer scorelines ahead.
Well, the fact that we're sitting here somewhat surprised of the affair of how everything has came about here, as the second goal was put in there at the dying seconds, doesn't change the complexity of the situation here. But the fact that you said that both of these two teams aren't quite playing their own game here, essentially, where are we going next in this series? Because frankly, I'm already lost in this.
I can't answer that question, Danny. It is literally impossible from what we've seen so far. We've seen spontaneity in both of those two games and a lot of unforced errors as well, namely those 50-50s in the corner on the back end of Team Secret as well. That caused their demise not just once but twice as well, and sometimes those midfield areas not being filled quite how they should. And I think it's just a matter of trying to find that confidence, find that rhythm to get your team really flowing long term.
Well, hopefully they'll find it soon, both sides here. Yes, game 1, game 2, polar opposites here too. Arguably Titans at the Sam region. When Furia left, there was that gap to open up. The club took the king, well, the new castle was claimed, but there was still a bit of doubt within a few others who might be challenging for it here. Secret, on the other hand here, they didn't play bad in the first game, but after conceding so early and arguably so sloppily, they've left themselves open here to be punished far too vigorously by the club here, and frankly, we're left in this sort of paradox on who's better at the moment here, because everybody was split, arguably, on the desk. Everybody we've talked in the green room was potentially sort of going, which way is it going to go?
Yeah, and even ourselves, Danny, I'm not sure either the two of us were completely confident in the predictions we'd be throwing forward as well, and to try and predict where this series is going is simply an impossibility, as it is very much all even Stevens at the moment. Game 1 thoroughly going the direction of Team Secret, and the club really biting back quickly to show their presence in this series at large, as Bems and Lost are going to work in unison down the side of the field. A demo came through as well. And Astromic now into the corner, a double touch he's going to reach out for, but the defense has done well to see this one wide.
The club is doing what they need to, and Secret has responded likewise with the defensive stability at the back lines here. There's two Maps' demos, and there's Knight moving forward. Sad is around, and that's a thumping shot. Pierced at least one bit of the armour. Not, however, the goalkeeper waiting in the back lines here is Lost, looking to weave through the traffic somewhat. The problem was it only one car he had to get through, and slightly tripped over the banana peel.
Unfortunately for us, Danny, no early concessions really shaping this particular game as well, as everything hanging in the balance so far. KV1 is going to lunge for a bump and manages to get the demo for his efforts. Lost is going to clear this one wide just in time as Astromic connection formed to launch this ball long, and Sad now is going to collect possession, but Lost already there to buy, already looking for those demos as well, and the aggression from both of these teams when they do get in those offensive zones, it's just looking so dangerous.
It is, and it's almost slightly rhythmic, this game, somewhat, especially when they are getting those sort of situations. You can just sit there, drop the ball somewhat, and in fact allow for the demo, pick it back up here and drag it down the field here with about 3 minutes still on the clock here. We haven't seen a goal here. I think it'd be fair to say both sides are up for this match now at last.
Definitely so. Sad is going to work his way out of the back lines. Bems with a 50-50 infield and another midfield demo. We're going to be seeing plenty more of those, I think, in this series, as KV1 launch high to the ceiling, and another midfield demo coming through. Knight now with a 50-50. Astromic is going to be able to get back in time, and we're really seeing both of these teams trying to establish possession, but every single time there's a bit of possession, there's a demo ripped through and a potential opportunity the other direction.
Follow through here by Sad, moving across for Lost here, and this is a bit of a loose worrying sign here. Knight was sitting back third man, but there was a lot of space if it was going to be lobbed over, but the air dribble could be potent here, should be, leaving this ball alone here, and KV1 took over. Say, arguably, the wrong play, the wrong call, but however, the bell hasn't started the wrong just yet here. As Lost still lurking around here. Crossbar rejected, and what a save that was! A diving cross and a poster rejected. The club has stumped their authority, but not the goal to be rewarded until that moment there, and just like that, What can we say?
Well, just when you thought the opportunity might be over, Danny, there's once again the aggression in the back lines, and it's the club who are going to find fruits to their labours for those demo attempts. Beautifully well-worked play indeed, and really, it's a joy to watch this, such a demo-heavy style executed with such safety as well. As Sam is probably one of the most demo-heavy regions there is, and it really does shape the play, and honestly, it just makes the gameplay so much more exciting.
It does, and there's some people might be a bit furious with how the demo sometimes interacts with the gameplay, but they are part of the game. You just have to adapt to it as loss. Trying to extend with a secondary goal here, and both of the two sides have fortunately no collision on the ball here, and you almost just sense here Secret a little bit complex somewhat here. What hasn't been talked about just yet so far is that technical time out. Will the Secret call one here at the end of this game? Because you just sense that things are getting away from them.
Yeah, potentially so, and I do think all the control is in the club's end at the moment. They've done very well at winning sort of possession game at large, and Team Secret are yet to find a response, but I think it's just a little bit too early to be calling a timeout, especially when you know as a roster you might be capable of more. So moving forward to sort of game 3, game 4, depending on, well, how down and out Team Secret really are, that's when I'd expect to see that sort of timeout.
Only Team Secret will be the ones who know that they are the ones on the pitch psychologically. How does it feel being this close and yet so far away from scoring? 20 seconds, of course, remaining in this game to find some kind of goal here. They've been pushed back all the way back here. One move by KV1, evades the block there. Shaky here, Knight the follow through, following it high, bump on the keeper. There is a dirty scramble somewhat there. It was a glancing bump, a drive-by, but what is certainly a run away at that ending there. 2-1 will be the series scoreline, and do you know what, Psycho here? We thought the club may have been shaking in game 1 here. We thought the Secret may have lost in game 2. Doubts on it if they were coming back. Good strong performances, but the Secret a little tiny bit outclassed there.
And I have to agree with you, Danny. I think that's the first game we've really seen which wasn't complete domination for one of the sides, regardless of the goals, just in terms of the general gameplay, which teams you have a sense is performing to a stronger capacity. And at the moment, I think that was the first game we saw where the club was definitely the answer. They found that rhythm in game number 3, which is so important over the duration of a series distance like this. And as you said, Team Secret may be a little bit quiet, but what can you do? What can you do against the club when they're at full force? All of those demo players just running rampant through their back lines. There's very little you can do, Danny.
There is, and do you know what? Sometimes you have to take stock of it, and hence why I thought the timeout would probably be the wise with the decisions here. You've lost 2 games without really giving a true response. Yes, the scoreline's getting closer, but Psycho, in these situations here, it's won and lost here by 1 indecision. You have to be smart. You've got to be smart to these games here. Both of these sides are mechanical. They're quite well versed here. There is a touch and a bit of, how can we put it, class on the mechanical side, because there is a few 1v1 players on this lineups, on this pitch right now, and they are just showing that. The why that looks like the club made that original change in the first place, why Secret has also ended up with their lineups here just to be in these matchups. And the fact that Secret right now looks like potentially they can't work out this problem here, that's a big sign. And just spare a thought for Crew as well too. They want the club to win. They're their best friends right now, BFFs here. They may even be showing a few love hearts on Twitter, who knows? But will the club show a bit of mercy? I highly doubt it.
Absolutely not, and they're digging their teeth into Team Secret. Even at this play at the moment, Team Secret stranded at the back lines, and Sad struggling to work his way out as Knight challenged early by Lost and infield pucks as well. And Sad is going to reclaim possession, just take this one wide, nicely into the corner now, and a demo as well downfield. KV1 though, beaten to the punch by Lost there.
Vital this game for Secret, vital. They remain goalless. And arguably, even more importance to grab the opening goal here. It will be KV1 up at round. Losses out. You just fancy the block. Strong 50. And it's a spills, unfortunately, in the club's end. Still under their control. Still under their possession. And there it was. The chance for Secret to save. Wiped away. And there is the opening goal that we expected by the club.
And that's going to be a frustrating concession for Team Secret, as well as now 2 goals on the trot have really been brought to life by those demo plays. And it was a Stromic down the field, already pre-aggressing on the ball, launched downfield, killed one, and well, the last defender simply beaten out by that shot, and there wasn't much they could do. And Team Secret really still yet to find a response. Sad now in the corner. 50-50 back out midfield to KV1 on a high touch, still stranded in this back corner. And how long have we seen Team Secret be trapped in this exact position so far this series?
Far too many and far too often to count as KV1 now downfield here at this point here. I would just start throwing the kitchen sink at it, just throw anything at net or even at your opposition. And that was a fabulous play, but Pins has done well to get away with that. Oh, this one could have just been a little bit more nastier if the club couldn't get away with that one.
Yeah, and it was an interesting leapfrog moment from Bems down the side of the field as he escalated past one player, and this one looks a little bit open for Team Secret, but Lost has just about managed to cover his own back lines there as Team Secret trying to establish one of their first really heavy bits of possession so far, but the greediness has led to that overextension at the back. KV1 caught off guard, and an early shot from Lost has really made Team Secret have such a difficult affair there.
One of the deadly sins. Greed. Gotta know when to stop. Didn't. And Seiko, here we are again. A club with a lead, a club with a presence, and this time a stronger defence here in the 4th game.
Absolutely, and a ball infield. The defence might not be strong enough to hold back the force to be reckoned with. That is KV1 as Sad down the corner there. A nice, really double touch sort of pinch infield towards KV1. Nothing the club could do there.
I think if Secret fans keep hearing me saying that club's got a stronger defence, they've always kept conceding from it. I wonder would they like me to keep saying it?
Rub it in, why don't you, Danny?
I'm not rubbing it in, just pointing it out.
Yeah. And at the moment, Team Secret, they've got 1 goal on the board, and they're trying to prove a point by getting a second as well. And Sad now back infield, a nice tip up to the side by Bems there. And Stromic very much needing of support in the form of Bems, who sees this one wide. Stromic in the corner, beaten to the punch and Lost with a booming clear back downfield.
Nice to see KV1 taking control. There was the options for the passing. That's a bit strange. Sad to set to cut in loosely. Still get the touch off the ball here. Now the force, the club here to respond, and the boost, to be fair credit to them, it was well managed on both sides here. But Secret got to find a way through here. It's been arguably a lack of a few demos here that we would see really in any other region by this point here, just to open the door up here as KV1 forced into the 50. Again forced away to the side with a minute left here. Do you take the chance here to have a go here? How many times will you have a go? Well, Seiko, the clock is against them now.
Very much so, and very few opportunities can be crafted with such limited times. They need to make stuff count right about now, but for Team Secret, one big struggle has been escaping their back lines, especially when they're trapped into those corners. And right now, having those players downfield just to disrupt this offense to come forward is helping them, as they are able to breathe some fresh air in the offense now. KV1 taking to the skies, 2 players to beat as Lost takes this one back into the corner.
That's a nice play. Where's the follow through? There has to be a shot, and it was so slow. You just wanted a big thumping shot with power and vigour behind it, and it was light, it was weak, and that ball back in the middle can't find the connection for a passing play, and the club just lets it drop. They let them watch the agony. They had it in their own hand to grab it with, and Seiko, they let it go.
They did, absolutely, and I do think we are seeing a club nearing its full force once again. And for the titans of this region at the moment in the club, they have performed so well through the full open and the full cups. And moving forward to this particular matchup, we did have doubts. Could the club actually recreate those prior performances as during the Swiss stage? Well, they were 3-2 down ultimately, and they even struggled to get through that quarterfinals matchups in a very tight 4-3 affair. Moving forward, we're starting to see the glory of what they once were capable of, maybe, Danny.
Certainly so. The club, they've played so well. They played so just effortless at times, and it's just frankly annoying, Seiko, the fact that you can just move the ball the way they have the mechanics, and what is such a key element, and there's a few other commentators as well in the scene that will have the debate about the use of the speed here. Sam has always been good when it has came down to that element, especially when it comes to pace, and it forces the other ones to get better mechanically. How do you use it? How you beat your opposition here? The club is doing that far too well here, but you also have to put a small asterisk within this game here, and I love to put a junction sometimes in these. The secret has given the ball far too often.
You might be true in saying that so far, Danny, as the club very much trying to continue their form in this series, as they are already on match point, and Team Secret, this is almost a must-win match and a must-win series for them. They don't know the eventualities of that opposing semi-finals. They need to win this one just for their own mental stability, for the sake that they can really dictate fate in their own hands. This is a series they must take.
No timeout really called either. Team Secret, they are risking their entirety of the full split to Rotterdam on this individual game, and the next one after that. It gets very much difficult, but if you do have a coach in your ear, they'll be just whispering it very quietly. Just take it one game at a time.
One game at a time. It's the best principle to operate with, really. And Team Secret just getting that second game on the board is such an importance right now, and words of wisdom to listen by for sure, as KV1 now backwards in the corner does get a nice 50-50 seen back to Astromic. As Knight now can only let this one go. Lost, ripping this one high towards Bems. A shot or a pass in field. One of the two didn't really accomplish either there.
Rejection for the club. Not least a tick mark to it just yet here as this ball floats around the Secret's final third, and it just feels a sense of when, not if, that ball is going to be put in the Secret's box here and rattles the netting effectively here. But Sad, he's done well here to prolong the club counter-active play here as everybody runs down the left-hand side of the field. Little touch by Sad to escape the eventual club attack too.
And KV is going to try and wrap in there, but Lost has done well to dance past that particular defender, and a strong 50-50 as well, but cleared away it was just at the very dying seconds of what could have been a shooting opportunity. There's a ball high in the midfield once again. It's going to be the club which pushes that early extension of possession downfield. Bems now, plenty of touches to his name. Knight up so early to intercept that one.
There's Knight once more here. He brought it down. Cannot finish his job. Relies on KB1 to do his as another 50 comes through. Vital demo. First time we've really seen that, but unfortunately not leaving to fruition here as the club escapes. Short period of time, mind you. Everybody scatters to their respective positions where they've got to be here. A quick glancing blow here. Lost to follow through. Second into the third phase of play. Vital save now when there's just a cut off at the midfield.
A vital touch it was from Astromic as well, just to really delay that counter-attack, as Lost is going to have exactly that now downfield. A 1v1 situation as Knight just able to get a touch on it, and a diving block from KV1 as well as he works his way back upfield now into the orange territory.
There's Lost, there's Knight, and again another 50 here. And this was early in the series, Secret would have conceded, and this game arguably would have been over here with 1 minute 30 ticking on down. Again, they've done well here to defend and not concede, but again, that is not good enough, not at this level and not at the series that it is. At 3-1, they've got to go down the other end of the pitch here, score one, defend like your life and your tournament career depends on it for fall. Oh wait, it does, Psycho.
It absolutely does. And with no boost for Team Secret to get out of their own defence, it's quite difficult to transition the play, as Lost now in his own back corner working forwards. A high touch from Lost as well, but it's going to concede possession straight back in the direction of Secret. There's a dunk almost formed there, and Lost working back the other end.
Nice bit of play the Secret had forming. Unfortunately, it's not really extenuated anything further than just a half, maybe a full chance every so often here as that block. Not good enough, it didn't exist, however, as KV1 now gets a touch here. The lines is getting thinner and thinner by Team Secret, so is the clock. The sands of basically run out here. Is there any green still left in that clock here? Is that up and around here? Double, no, follow through. It's going left up the side, but it's been tipped away here. KV1 to slow things down here, and perhaps, and just a big perhaps here, they might have a chance on target.
Maybe one more chance here as well. KV1 in field, and Sad couldn't get past two defenders there at the same time. Knight now back off infield. Sad launched up high. KV1 catches that flip reset, tries to do something with it, but we are going to find overtime here, Danny.
We certainly will. In the fifth game, Team Secret might have the advantage with the seasonal points so far, but they cannot rest on chance. They cannot rest on results going in their favour when it's still in their hands, mind you, as a few demos separates men versus boys, and that's off the post. Knight sat there trying to redirect the ball in from the ground, but they've only been sent back to defend the club attack.
And you know the hearts are going to be racing now for Team Secret, who came so close just seconds ago, as Knight downfield now to Sad, who's going to take this all in his own possession. A 50-50 and a bump as well is still not going to break down this defence. A pre-jump infield from Lost, catches that flip reset as well, but sadly it's going to be seen away by the defence there.
KV1's up, arguably maybe pushed to further round. It was a sin that cost them earlier, and a lack of reaction could have cost Secret there once more. A minute in this OT, shaky performance, but they've got away with it for near 6 minutes of this game here as Knight once more looking for the block. They had a chance earlier, but that wasn't good enough to be converted. As the club now looking to break three from this team that Team Secret had on their half, but again it was merely a few seconds at most.
Importantly for the club, all they want to be seeing is the orange half, and they're well and truly keeping them there right now. Has Lost over to the backboard, and a lovely touch there from Knight to see this one to the side, but nobody willing to push forwards, and the loose space almost capitalised on by that shot which ripped its way through. But Team Secret, as much as they did huddle up at the back there, they've certainly seen it out, but it looks like an open pocket of space. Astromic, a wide open net to his name, and he's blasted it home.
The argument of boost versus ball always comes in the fable of Rocket League. Do you go for it or do you not? No is always the answer. Punished, demoed, removed, and now Psycho, fate, the chance, no longer in their hands. They're reliant on the rest of the bracket to play out, and what an evening this might be.
This could be an incredibly entertaining set of events to come, as Team Secret, currently they do have that cushion in terms of points over the crew, but they needed to win this series just for the sake of their stability, their chances of reaching the major, and they still have some, but those chances certainly reduced now.
Well, certainly reduced, and what will be a little more awkward, Psycho, is potentially how the rest of the day runs out here for them. How do you even sit there and just formulate what is next?
It's impossible. Absolutely impossible. They're going to be a bag of nerves really right now, because the major really is that one playground that every team wants to reach forward to in the World Championships, of course. A stage that everyone wants to reach as well. But these majors offer an opportunity to really see yourselves as a world-beating team. And just to have that in the hands of your opposition must be such a difficult thing to deal with.
Certainly is, but what will be difficult to grab onto, well, is that chance, the ticket to Rotterdam for them. But for everybody else, you get the sit back, relax. There is 2 series still left.
Welcome back, everyone, to the South America Fall Split Invitational. I am Surf Chan. Here right now we have Jar of Jam, Danny Boy, Jam. We are going to cover the second semifinals of the day, Crew versus the Outliers. What are you expecting for this match? You can even throw a prediction if you want to, but overall, what do you expect?
Oh, wow. Pressure immediately. I know just how much power you've exerted on the desk pre-show when Digital Bacon couldn't even go out without throwing a prediction. So, yeah, you run a strict ship over here. Crew Esports and only Outliers. Well, Crew Esports, in my book, is perhaps the second best team right now, or at least in my heart, the team that's going to take this major. Only Outliers are exactly that. They're the outliers. They've never made it to the stage. And even earlier in the Swiss stage, Crew Esports have swept Only Outliers, but that's only on the surface. Those matches were